So from used car sales rep, it's funny. A lot of people who hate roofers compare them to used car sales reps. Why has such a bad stigma? So you have both. You're a roofer and you used car sales reps. You deserve the hate if you have any.
I know. The only thing it could be worse if I'd been an attorney as well. Yeah, the big three there.
Ambulance chasers.
Yeah, administrators. Yeah.
So why do you think used car sales reps have such a bad reputation?
I think it's like in any industry. I mean, it's just the nature of the people you deal with. You know, there's good people and bad people in any industry.
It seems like you have more of a kind of people, trying to sell you a used car, not being honest about it.
I think it's come up. I think just there's just so much information now. I think everybody's had to raise their game.
So let's talk about it because auto industry, completely changed with the internet. I remember 20 years ago, people would not put prices online on their cars, right? It was all game. Come take a look. We have, we don't have, right? So, and then internet came and everything is online and shopping is online and price sells the car. But now the same thing happening to the roofing industry, and the roofers are stubborn, and dealers were stubborn. They did not want to adopt. How did it change? In like, what was behind the change in the auto industry? Why did lease market died?
Why did what the lease market
Yeah,
die?
yeah. Like, why did they stop?
Well, the lease market came back, but all credit markets tightened up in '08. I mean, it was hard to finance a car.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Somebody with good credit had trouble like buying a second car. They got very very conservative in what they did, and they quit leasing. So, but that phased back in, and I don't know, 2011, 2012, the credit markets lightened up, and back to the races. They're leasing cars again.
But how we buy and sell cars completely different. A lot of I was watching CNBC documentary the other day about Facebook Marketplace.
Hmm.
That place, a lot of people keep Facebook only for Facebook Marketplace.
Yes,
It's a new Craigslist.
yes,
So you go
it
in,
is.
look at the deals, local people sell.
Hmm.
They don't like third parties. How's roofing business was different for you first couple of years from selling cars to selling roofs? What was the biggest challenge or difference?
To sell roofs versus cars.
Yeah.
I don't think I didn't see it as a challenge, other than having somebody to get in front of to talk to. A car roof, it's all a commodity. It's just if you know how to sell, you know how to sell. Doesn't matter what you're selling.
What kind of sales process you have here? I see a Grant Cardone on your wall.
Mhm.
And one thing about this company, they're the nicest people. Like everybody in your company, the nicest people. I've never ever I've been days in your office like, between last trip and this trip. And every time I interact with anyone in your office, I just see positive energy. Like I kid you not. Like usually you go to bigger companies at
Yes.
5 million, 7, 10 million company, you'll have someone who's aggressive, someone who is like, that shark, that hustler, who's just like, tough around the edges, rough around the edges. In your company, I don't think I've seen one person who's rough around the edges. How do you attract people and what kind of sales process you have?
That wasn't an easy process. We've gone through a lot of people to get to this team, and I really believe in everybody in every position is the right person. And it took a while to get here. We've been in business 9 years, it'll be 10 years this December, November, December. But it was a little rough going to get through this. We've had some bad people, but you weed those
How
out.
big is your team now?
So our whole company, Apex, is 25 people, I
25.
believe, counting all the
How
administrative
many how
people.
many do you think you let go over the 9 year period?
Gosh,
100?
no, I don't think so. In 9 years,
50?
15 to 20, if I had to guess. Yeah, and that's administrative and salespeople.
So what's your leadership style look like? I'm just curious.
I like to empower people, put them in a position that I feel like they're suited to be in, have the skill set to be in, and let them do their job and with autonomy.
Right.
We I have a weekly report I see. I get to see the numbers. I don't really, I could not be here and could tell by my report what's going on pretty much. But
What KPI, what reports do you look daily?
I look at inbound leads. I look at the conversion rate on leads. I look at
Do you generate them in a CRM, Job Nimbus, right?
yes.
So all the reports in Job Nimbus?
Well, I have they create a report for me outside. I don't want to look at everything. I don't get bogged down in all the detail. There's just a few things I want to see, and that's a number of leads, lead conversion, sales, reviews versus sales. I'm big on reviews. They have a KPI to have a certain amount of reviews per sale because I'm a big believer in
What's
reviews.
yours? Like how many reviews for how many jobs? If you do 100 jobs, how many reviews are you going to get?
On 100 jobs?
Yeah.
They need to be 50%, 40 to 50%.
50 reviews for 100 jobs. That's a lot.
It is.
It's probably one of the highest.
But if you set an expectation that's reasonable, and I think it's reasonable, it's perception that's reasonable. It is to me. And I base this, Dimitri, because I started working from my kitchen table in a pickup, just me, and built this company. So I've never asked them to do anything that I haven't done, from knocking doors 4 months, after a storm happened to whatever. And we don't knock doors, by the way. I just don't think that works. Now, it works. It's not my style. Let me put it that way.
Sure.
Yeah. I would rather create a culture where the people are going to call, feel compelled to call us to do business. And that's where we're at.
Love it. So people call you, you go on appointments, you do the job. What happens after? How do you get to 50 reviews, 50%? How many times do you have to ask, or is it a different process?
I'm a little hands off at this point because of the people I have in place. So I'm not involved in the day to day at this point. So we reward them for that. Some of it is tied to their commission percentage. They operate at a certain tier based on.
So you incentivize it.
Incentivize it based on lead conversion, review conversion of sales, et cetera. Incentivize it. And then we have a contest. We have a contest this year. The theme of it's Top Gun. And I'm not looking for, total top line revenue or total number of roofs. I'm looking at a combination of those factors, those KPIs. And that's how you get to be Top Gun this year. I think the prize this year is $10,000 for Top Gun.
So one person who will win, how many reviews do you think he'll get?
It's hard to say because I don't know how many roofs that person will sell. If they sell 4 roofs a month, let's call it 50 roofs. They'll probably get 20 reviews, 20 to 25 reviews.
Love it. So no door knocking, absolutely love it. Job Nimbus is a CRM, KPI from their sales system. Grant Cardone, how much influence Grant Cardone? Because Grant Cardone is very controversial. A lot of people don't like him because he's that used car sales.
We don't use that method at all. It's just a personal thing with him.
You just like him.
I go back to him from a car business, like in the 1980s, where he started out. That's how I became aware of him, is at that point.
I see.
Yeah. So.
But what's your sales process look like? How many steps you have, or how long is your appointments? When you're in front of a homeowner, what do you show them?
Well, I think an appointment, you should be able to get you through an appointment in 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
I think you should. Yeah. I think if you're
you know that a lot of your competition will not leave without the sale. And I'm a 15-minute guy. And my sales reps who are trained by the best of the best always thought I was crazy. Mm-hmm. I think it's more than enough because people don't have attention.
Yeah. You're wearing them out at that point. Yeah. And I'd rather, if we can't get it done then I think the key to it anyway is follow up. I mean, one call close on a roof is tough. It can be done.
So you're not trying to get.
No, I mean, if
they're ready, they're ready.
Yeah, if they're ready, they're ready. If not, but then the follow-up. You start the follow-up immediately.
I talked to you guys in the field today, and I did not know it, but I was pleasantly surprised that you don't do deposits. What's your strategy on deposit? I love it. I mean, I think it's such a good strategy to open trust.
I try to do things that set this company apart from my competitors. Mm-hmm. I don't need the money to operate. So I don't need a deposit. And I always think it would be concerning to me if somebody needed a deposit to start working for me personally, if I'm doing something at my house.
But it's a risk because you buy materials. Why would you spend your money on it? That's the argument people make.
Yeah. it's not an issue for me. I can handle it. It's okay.